Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Excellency the Minister of Health says that the lockdown of the commercial market in the Wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali is the result of detecting 12 cases of COVID-19. His Excellency the CEO of the Central Bank of Oman stresses that the banking sector is still bearing the burden of decline in oil prices due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Ministry of Health announces 109 new confirmed COVID-19 cases. These were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Dr. Bashar al-Assad of Syria on his country's National Day. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed al-Saidi, Minister of Health, said that the lockdown of the commercial market in the Wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali is the result of detecting 12 cases of COVID-19, and the relevant authorities considered the need to close the market area to limit the spread of the virus to the rest of the Wilaya and the neighboring Wilayas. The Royal Oman Police ROP stated that Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali Souq in the Governorate of South Al-Sharqiyya, situated next to the hospital, has been put in complete quarantine. The ROP pointed out that this procedure started from 4 a.m. today until further notice, calling on all residents and citizens to cooperate. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed al-Saidi, Minister of Health, confirmed during the third press conference of the COVID-19 Supreme Committee that the number of coronavirus cases in the Sultanate is 1,019, including 384 citizens and 635 non-Omanis, including 23 confirmed cases in the hospital, indicating that according to the epidemiological curve designed by the Ministry of Health, the number of daily cases during the peak period will reach 1,500 cases per day, out of which 500 cases need hospitalization and about 150 will be in intensive care units. His Excellency stressed that the slow movement of the curve helped to prepare health institutions, noting that the capacity of the Royal Hospital in intensive care was with only 60 beds and upgraded to 160 beds. His Excellency indicated that the Sultanate has conducted 16 trips to China and many medical supplies have been brought, and the arrival of many laboratory equipment is expected to reach within 10 days, adding that other devices and human cadres are available in most of the Sultanate's laboratories except for Musandam Governorate, and within few days they will be provided and installed at Khasab Hospital. His Excellency pointed to the process of extracting and implanting plasma for a number of patients in coordination with the Central Blood Bank and the Royal Hospital and a number of other sectors, where the results of the operation will be clear in the coming days, stating that according to the current data, the availability of a vaccine is not expected before 9 months, as the manufacture of any vaccine is very complex. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower, said that the Job Safety Fund is in the establishment stage and the generous contribution from His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has been deposited in the fund in addition to other amounts added to it, and it is for the service of persons whose services are ending in the private sector. The fund's headquarters will be in the Public Authority for Social Insurance, and the system is currently being prepared for it. His Excellency the Minister of Manpower indicated that there is coordination between the concerned authorities to negotiate with the countries on the expulsion of the expatriates' labor force, and whenever the census or the consensus is reached, the necessary measures will be taken to transfer them, assuring that the government is working continuously to repatriate the irregular workforce through inspection, follow-up and reporting programs, as the number of the workforce that is transferred annually is around 22 to 23,000 workers. His Excellency explained that the construction sector was not affected by the crisis and more than 40% of the workforce is employed in it, stressing that there are efforts for inspection and awareness by the relevant authorities regarding the work environment and manpower status. His Excellency Tahir bin Salim Al-Amri, CEO of the Central Bank of Oman, said that the banking sector was affected by the decline in oil prices, stressing that this sector is still bearing the burden due to this pandemic, confirming that the capital of banks, funding companies and reserves are good. His Excellency pointed out that there are major challenges in lending in the commercial field, but there is great cooperation between all concerned parties, adding that discussions between the central banks and finance companies to find products that borrowers can benefit from are ongoing. His Excellency Engineer Ahmed bin Hassan Al-Deeb, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, confirmed that the government is currently seeking not to close some economic facilities and put some health precautions, as the repercussions of the low oil prices and the corona crisis have affected the economic sector in the Sultanate, and measures are taken by the Sultanate to reduce the losses, adding that the ministry seeks to reduce the burden of the shops and it can work indirectly as a package of mechanisms is discussed and will be submitted to the COVID-19 Supreme Committee, especially to support those affected SME owners. His Excellency added that they cannot predict or give a number about the size of the Omani economy's losses because the issue is governed by several criteria, but it will be few thanks to the cooperation between the government and what it has to offer, as well as the Omani community confirming that the ministry was able to find direct routes with the ports of the exporting countries, and they used Port Sultan Qaboos for direct import. His Excellency Qais bin Muhammad Al Yusuf, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, confirmed that the package of facilities issued yesterday by the COVID-19 Supreme Committee responded to the aspirations and demands of the private sector, adding that the Chamber had taken some measures such as contributing to the Job Safety Fund. The Ministry of Health announced 100 new confirmed cases with coronavirus COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 1,019, including 4 deaths. The Ministry of Health stresses that 176 cases have recovered.
Within the efforts to limit the spread of COVID-19, the Ministry advises all citizens and residents to keep on washing hands with water and soap. Avoid touching the face, nose, mouth and eyes. Follow hygienic habits when coughing and sneezing. Adhere strictly to social distancing instructions. Stay at home and not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Adhering to isolation and social distancing will prevent you, your family and the community from COVID-19. Stay safe.
The Ministry of Technology and Communications formed a committee for technological innovation to counter the emerging COVID-19, headed by Her Excellency Azza bint Sulaiman Al Ismailiyah, Minister of Technology and Communications, with the membership of a number of government sectors. This step came in coordination with the COVID-19 Supreme Committee and in line with the government's efforts to limit the spread of the virus by activating technological solutions that would provide modern alternatives in dealing with its effects. The committee will also form a specialized team to evaluate the proposed technologies to include Omani competencies specialized in the field of business analysis and innovation. The committee will also approve project financing and provide support to them after approval by the technical team and enhance the partnership between the government and the private sector to support the manufacturing and production sectors. Still to come in our news bulletin. A joint team of researchers and academics launched a drone within the efforts to limit the spread of coronavirus COVID-19.
Non-compliance with the directives of the Supreme Committee dealing with coronavirus COVID-19 exposes you to risk and legal action. Stay safe.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. With the need to adhere to the precautionary measures of preventing the spread of COVID-19, here is a short video describing the same.
A person-to-person transmission of infection can occur through direct contact with the infected person, through aerosols produced during coughing and sneezing, or by touching surfaces contaminated with the virus, as well as sharing the personal tools with others. Hands are the most common ways of transmitting the infectious diseases, so washing and cleaning your hands in a proper way from time to time is the most protective method. Wet hands with water. Apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub hands palm to palm, right palm over left dorsum with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Palm to palm with fingers interlaced, back of fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotational rubbing of left thumb clasped in right palm and vice versa. Rotational rubbing backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of right hand in palm and vice versa. Rinse hands with water, dry thoroughly with single-use tissue paper, and use tissue paper to turn off faucet. You may use hand sanitizer if soap and water is not available by following the same steps. And for the prevention, use a tissue paper when you sneeze or cough, and make sure to dispose it in a covered waste bin. If tissue paper is not available, use your sleeves to cover your cough or sneeze. Do not share items with others. Avoid crowded places as much as possible. Avoid touching your face, nose, eyes and mouth, especially when your hands are not clean. Remember, adhering to healthy habits will protect you from infectious diseases. So follow the precautionary instructions to stay safe and healthy. With best wishes from the Directorate of Health Education, Directorate General of Surveillance and Disease Control, Ministry of Health.
The manufacturing process of 112 automated sterilization devices has started by the Industrial Innovation Factory to support the Sultanate's efforts in combating coronavirus pandemic. The sterilization room is equipped with an audio and visual system to direct persons. The sterilization substance released through ultrasound waves. It is produced locally, consisting of hydroxide silver ions and extracted substance from Omani frankincense. It was proved through laboratory tests its ability to destroy viruses. A drone was launched to contribute in reducing the spread of coronavirus COVID-19. It measures and records the temperature of persons to detect the potential and undisclosed infection cases to avoid the spread of the virus with mass gatherings. The drone contains a developed thermal camera able to measure the temperatures. It was developed by a joint team of researchers and academics from the College of Engineering at Sultan Qaboos University and Azm Technology Company, which is one of the Omani companies specialized in this field. The launching ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health. Doctors, nurses, public health specialists and other paramedics are putting their best on dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. More details in the following report.
From the announcement was made for a 2-week closure of all crossings in and out of Muscat Governorate as part of the precautionary measures aimed at limiting the spread of the COVID-19 outbreak. The Wilayat of Matrah, being the epicenter of coronavirus, was placed under lockdown. Officials initiated and activated mobile healthcare teams in 4 locations around Matrah. The centers has witnessed a large number of public visiting the facilities where one will be assessed and testing is performed.
So this is the end of our day today. We have just finished our work. We start receiving our patients from around 9 a.m. Receiving the patients by checking their vitals. Then the symptomatic ones of them, we send them to the doctor who will take the swabs from the nose and throat and who should be fully protected.
I'm a nurse here, and as we are working with a team, which is including doctors and other support groups, these groups are all working together to filter the cases, triaging, and then sending the patient to doctors for sampling. Sometimes it is very crowded, that's why we need to triage the patients to see who need the swab or who need just to give advice and health education.
The healthcare workers here exerting the level best in conducting the necessary tests required. Many have come here, and thanks to all teams.
It's worth mentioning that the highest number is represented by residents of different nationalities, as no ID card is requested, and many of whom do not speak Arabic. Translators are available thanks to the volunteers.
أنا متطوعة مع فريق الطبي وسعيدة أكون معاهم مع وزارة الصحة ومترجمة لغة الهندي والبلوشي.
We are volunteer. We are very happy to join healthcare team.
These healthcare workers mobilized in the battle against COVID-19 are exerting tremendous efforts. Please stick to your commitment of health isolation and social distancing to prevent all from the spread of coronavirus. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Excellency the Minister of Health says that the lockdown of the commercial market in the wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali is the result of detecting 12 cases of COVID-19. His Excellency the CEO of the Central Bank of Oman stresses that the banking sector is still bearing the burden of decline in oil prices due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Ministry of Health announces 110 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.